In this video, we look back at some of the most brutal knockouts in boxing history. Let's get straight to it. David Haye's first fight at heavyweight was a complete blowout.
It's been a key weapon, right hand, down goes Bunyan in the opener. Well, there's the power, and it's carried to heavyweight. What a start for David Haye.
And did you see how relaxed he was?
Haye's speed was too much for his opponent as he was able to land clean right hands from range.
A start from Haye.
The opponent simply couldn't handle the speed and was blitzed around the ring.
Is right on, so right hand. Bunyan goes down. Haye wants to go in. Ian John Lewis takes up the count for the second time in the round, and it could be all over.
He just wants to settle down here.
Uppercut. Haye flying in with the punches, left hand. Ian John Lewis is going to go in. It's a dramatic beginning to David Haye's heavyweight career.
People may criticize Haye for some things, but you cannot criticize his speed and power.
Out come the jab, followed by the right hand. Did you look how relaxed he is? He didn't wind these punches up. This is the full-blown heavyweight. The jab, he was knocked slightly off balance before the right hand came in. Beautiful punch, bang on the chin. Now that was a finisher. That could have finished an awful lot of heavyweights.
They were absolutely top-notch attributes.
You can see he's down, he's hurt, he's shaken, but he got back up again, trying to get himself into the fight, but just could not cope with the speed and obviously the power of David Haye. Look at the accuracy, just doing as he pleases. I don't think he could believe how much time he had.
What a night for David D. Haye and his fans here at Wembley.
That's heavyweight champion Joe Frazier, standing in his corner waiting to be introduced.
Frazier defended his title against light heavyweight champ Bob Foster on a Wednesday night in Detroit.
Frazier always moving in on world light heavyweight champion Bob Foster.
Foster was in his prime and unbeaten in the last 5 years. He was coming off a streak of 13 knockouts and was known as a fearsome puncher. To this day, he is considered the biggest puncher in light heavyweight history. Bob was 6'4" with a huge reach. I think he might have done well at heavyweight, but he just came up against Joe in his absolute prime. It was like trying to play chess against a grandmaster when you're still figuring out checkers. I think this is one of Frazier's most brutal knockouts and arguably his best performance. Not his best win, of course, but a top performance where he was truly in his prime. From the outset, Frazier's power shocked Bob. Bob was in constant retreat, and Frazier's jabs, head movement, and lead hooks were all on point.
And Foster is hit with a paralyzing left hook. Frazier goes to a neutral corner as the referee picks up the count. Bob is hurt. Foster courageously gets to his feet. A dynamite left hook, and Bob Foster goes down again. The referee picks up the count.
The knockout was so brutal, it could have been used as a warning label on a boxing glove. In his prime, Joe was the ultimate fighting machine, truly one of the greatest of all time, perhaps the best. I don't feel totally comfortable picking anyone to beat him. It's like trying to name a better pizza place than your favorite. You might try, but deep down, you know nothing beats the original.
A dynamite left to the jaw, and Foster goes down for the second time, which ends Bob Foster's bid for the World Heavyweight Championship.
All his wins are by knockout. From the Motor City of Detroit, here is Joe McClellan.
Joe McClellan. Y acostumbrador tiene Joe McClellan, el de pronto no mira la lona, y esto es temprano en el combate. Vamos a ver si paciencia.
McClellan's knockout of James Williamson was a body shot masterpiece.
Il est passé par-dessus. Oh, il passe par-dessus.
Williamson folded like a cheap lawn chair after a perfectly timed left hook.
J'ai jamais vu ça. Il lui passe par-dessus. Oh, il met la main sur la tête. Il passe par-dessus. Il est passé par-dessus. Il fait saute mouton, mais le mec est complètement debout. Hein. Il se penche pas. Hein. Impressionnant. Oh là 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 là.
It's the kind of punch that makes you question your life choices and wish you'd stayed in bed.
Mundial a 12 asaltos. Dennis Andrews de Inglaterra es campeón mundial enfrentándose al brasileño.
This might be my favorite Roy Jones fight, mainly because of his left hook. Watch how Roy feints the jab and then comes up top with the left hook. It's like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat. It's just beautiful.
You got to climb a mountain one hand at a time.
That's it, one punch at a time.
It was before the bell. It was before the bell.
6, 7.
Thornton gets up easily
All right, Tony.
to beat the 8 count. And now that's the end of round number 3.
Round's over. It cannot be saved by the bell.
The
He was
round
saved
ended.
because he got up at the count of 8. His reflexes and power like this are rare to see. It's like seeing a combination ballet dancer and bouncer.
What a punch.
Tony had gone the distance with James Toney, Chris Eubank, and Steve Collins, but Roy destroyed him like a wrecking ball through a sandcastle.
Round 2, I should say. Thornton in trouble. Can't punch back.
Come on, Tony, gotta fire. Gotta fire, Tony. Gotta fire. That's it. That's it, that's it.
That'll do it.
All right, Tony. All right, brother. Too much.
His shoulder hurt.
Too much.
The referee did him a good favor.
Thornton pointed to his left.
When you're facing this kind of hand speed, there's nowhere to hide. Tony was too scared to lower his guard or throw a punch because he knew he'd get hit with a 5-punch combo before he could blink.
An opponent who had never previously been knocked out in a 44-fight professional career.
And that looked like about a 44-punch combination.
It's the big moment for Rocky Marciano and Harry Kid Matthews. The winner of this fight will meet heavyweight champion Joe Walcott in September.
Marciano's bout against Harry Matthews was a unique display of power.
And he can hit with dynamite effect.
His bench stance made him look like he was trying to invent a new dance move.
Matthews' strategy is to box Marciano, keep him at a distance.
Every hook was so powerful, it could have come with a warning label.
Matthews is down. 2 lightning-fast left hooks. He's badly hurt. He can't make it. See Marciano's terrific punching power in slow motion in just a moment. Marciano lunges with the left jab, then hooks. And hooks again, and Matthews is knocked to the canvas. Marciano helps Matthews to his feet. Rocky wants to be sure Matthews is all right. Rocky Marciano, the winner by a clean knockout in 2 minutes, 4 seconds of the second.
Matthews got the full Marciano experience.
I didn't even know you were a chess player. Oh, superb. Just missed with that long right hand. Less than 30 seconds ago. Right to the chin of Elizondo.
Arguello set up a perfect right hand there. Watch out for his trademark bolo uppercut to the body.
He's standing up at this point. He's hurt, though, Tim. He's hurt, but he was able to get up. That was a tremendous punch. And down he goes again, and that might be the finish. Short left of the body appeared to be the problem there, and he spits out his mouthpiece. Elizondo getting the count from referee Joey Curtis. But he is hurt. It was a body punch, and that's it. He cannot continue. Alexis.
When I think of classy textbook fighters, Arguello is the first guy that comes to mind.
World Championship, 17 fights in a row. He has defended a title. This time, the lightweight crown of the WBC for the 2nd time. It occurs here in the 7th round.
Now, when you don't have a knockout punch, as Tavera does not, and this heavy-handed guy is nailing you, it's a very lonely place to be in that ring right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a clash of heads there. It sometimes does happen with lefties and righties, but Tavera really has to come up with some ideas, so he's not going to last too long if he continues to fight at this pace, which is no pace at all. He tries there a right hand.
Kind of gives you the idea how fear comes in for guys when they realize they're
hard
match.
body shot.
Down he goes from the shots that have been getting him throughout this contest.
Liver shot.
7, 8.
Body punching specialist Errol Spence set up this right to the body behind a nice jab. The opponent is tough, but when you've been dropped this hard by a body shot in the first round, the writing is on the wall.
From up top is right now Tavera is trying to protect his body. He's still hurt to the body.
And he leaves himself wide open up top.
And that's a good stoppage. This guy's got devastating power, speed. He's the goods. He looked like the goods again tonight.
You want to make sure as the referee you stop it. Even 1 or 2 punches too late to the ribs can break a rib, can get a guy out of action for months at a time.
Foreman quickly gained a fearsome reputation. His stare-downs were so intimidating, you'd think he was auditioning for a role as a villain in a superhero movie. In one fight, Bob Hazelton looked like he was facing a real-life monster movie.
Well, brilliant, but the minute to produce a Chet 40, not so. This is George Foreman. He has a marvelous left.
Foreman came out swinging like he was auditioning for a demolition derby, and Hazelton was simply outmatched.
Hazelton was hurt a little bit with the first left to the upper chest. There he was hurt with that right to the midsection, as you saw. He's in trouble right now, immediately.
Foreman's jab even scored a knockdown, which is as rare as finding a unicorn in your backyard. At the same time, George was training with Sonny Liston, so his jab was developing a bite to match his roar.
Hardly an inspiring opponent.
There, 1 minute 26 seconds in the first round by knockout, George Foreman.
George, way up there. George, wait up there.
If you watched any of our previous videos, you know that Errol Spence has a great killer instinct, and he finishes the opponent off clinically. I really enjoy seeing Errol Spence go to work. Listen to the impact of the punches.
Spence hasn't thrown a punch in like 20 seconds. This is the equivalent of a 30-second timeout. Right. And here he comes. Here comes the barrage. Robert Byrd stepping in. He's getting closer. I don't know what more Robert Byrd needs to see. Oh, this is it. And finally, he's seen enough.
In the early stages of his career, Spence looked like a locomotive as he blasted through his opponents like this.
Oh, that left uppercut.
Come on, no holding. Let him out. Step back.
One of the things I love about Nelson is how audacious he was.
Left hand to the head by Nelson, and that's staggered Mitchell. Right hand sends him down. Solid right hand. Mitchell in trouble. Here in the 5th round. 5, 6. Gets to his feet. He is still wobbly. Referee.
He was always so extremely confident in his abilities. If he didn't respect your strength and power, he'd just walk you down and gleefully chop you up.
Right towards Nelson. When you're hurt, you should be walking away. And it's over. Larry Hazard has stopped the fight.
That's what I think happened in this fight. Mitchell was really outclassed.
A right hand, well, it wasn't as wild as I thought. It was a pretty good right hand. Down goes Mitchell, and
right hand to change the entire fight around. And there it is, Tim, right on the button. It wasn't as awkward a punch as you thought it was.
No, that's right. No, seeing it on the replay, it was a better punch than I thought when we saw it live. And then, of course,
the head movement of Rosario was one of his best attributes.
First round action from San Juan. Good right followed by a flicking left, and another good right landed by Rosario. And Rosario puts the pressure on a right to the side of the head, and a left got in, and down goes Elizondo. So out of nowhere.
He created nice angles off it there, and it only took one right hand to seriously hurt the opponent.
As Davy Pearl looks into his eyes, and the round resumes with about 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the first round, and Elizondo in immediate trouble again. A right, down he goes for the second time in the round, and that's it. Davy Pearl has stopped this fight 2 minutes into the first round.
A killer like Rosario usually always ends the fight once his opponent has been hurt. If you've watched any of my previous compilation videos, you know that I consider him to be the best puncher at 135 pounds in boxing history.
Down at this point, on his home turf as Edwin Rosario, 21 years old, retains his WBC lightweight championship. Now,
Joe gets criticized for his footwork at times, but he can move fast if he wants to. He's just very economical with his footwork, like a well-oiled machine that only moves when absolutely necessary.
The fight is all over according to referee Kavanaugh, but Godoy has other ideas.
The opponent has been punched so hard that I think he's actually gone insane for a moment. He's just running on instinct. Meanwhile, the heavyweight king is relaxed in his corner, probably thinking about what's for dinner.
Making his professional debut, Prince Naseem Hamed.
Hamed's debut was a real eye-opener. The Prince is left-handed, but his style is all about switch hitting, like a boxer with a split personality.
His first two professional fights inside the distance.
He takes a right hand here, but don't worry, his defense is basically just reflexes and prayers. Hamed doesn't defend punches the traditional way. He pulls away from them with his chin in the air, which is a bit like playing chicken with a speeding train. Most boxers would call this a terrible mistake, but Naz, he calls it a strategy.
Enough. These rounds are 3-minute and not 2-minute duration.
There's that right hand again. That may take a little bit of flamboyance away from Naseem.
Well, I hope so, for his sake.
Notice how often Hamed changes his stance here, like he's trying to decide which leg is his favorite. He started orthodox, then switches to southpaw to score the knockdown. Classic Naz, can't decide on anything, not even which hand to punch you with.
Your pro career. Let's take a look at the right that decked Ricky Beard briefly.
That's the right hand Ricky Beard landed on Naseem and looking to unload with shots of his own, and he does them with such great speed. Here you see the accuracy, two booming shots, and Ricky.
And listen for the impact of his punch.
Good shot.
Body shot.
It's the sound of Hamed announcing his arrival in the boxing world, in case his entrance wasn't loud enough.
And that's all over.
The crowd went wild for his post-fight celebrations. Honestly, you'd think he just won a dance-off instead of a boxing match.
A delighted young man doing his flips for all to see.
I shall reserve judgment on this young man, but he is not a bad little kid.
Sean Norman didn't see the Prince's left hand coming, which is fair because it was moving faster than gossip in a small town. In the second round, the Prince showed off his agility, pummeling Norman around the ring like a cat toying with a very confused mouse.
The gap was very small.
Most fighters are humble after their debut, but not the Prince. Confidence is one of the things he's never been short of.
He's a real showman.
He's got energy to burn, hasn't he?
Point in front.
In his first world title challenge, Ike put up a devastating performance against the champion.
Oh, goodness me. Oh, no, it's all over. Well, Espada almost out of the ropes there. He got tagged with a lovely right hand, and Quarty went for the follow-up. So, great moment there for Quarty. Can he repeat it? Is Espada over that? He's not. He's still in trouble. So, Crisanto Espada getting hurt now. The towels come in. Bavani Eastwood as Espada collapses to the floor. So we've got a new WBA welterweight champion.
The champ was out on his feet there for a second, and Ike threw non-stop punches, including this brutal right hand, which ended the fight and had the opponent on the canvas for several minutes. Ike was an elite fighter, and he would go on to have some mega fights.
And the birth of a new era in the WBA welterweight championship division. And up until that point, it looked perfectly feasible. This one could have gone the whole way, but suddenly rocking punches there, and poor old Espada heading south. And when they fall like that, they rarely get up and continue. And the towel hit the floor at the same time as Espana. He got hit and hurt. Well, there was only the rest of that 11th round and one more to go. But Espana has been dethroned.
On the nose of Pacienza. Left hand of Sam. Casey down in emphatic fashion.
One of the things I loved about Vinny was his willingness to mix it up. He was ahead on the cards here, but he still went for the knockout, and the left hook was a sweet shot. The opponent was flat on his back on the canvas, and I don't blame the referee for stopping it.
That this was not a wear down. This was a solid knockdown, and just to make sure, Vinny sprints in case he bounces once. He can hit him on a bounce. Here's another look. Look how solid that punch is. It's about as solid. It's a miracle he didn't drop right then. Of course, the reaction is immediately stay there. Get it done. Take it over, and of course, that was it. Victory.
In his fight against Zepeda, Lopez showcased counterpunching so smooth, it could have been a dance routine. His uppercuts and defense were flawless.
Franco Udela. La división de más reciente creación. La izquierda y el volado de mano derecha están parando la pelea. Vamos a revivir los momentos finales de Ricardo López Nava y José Luis La Gringa Zepeda. La derecha volada.
After taking a right hand in the corner, Zepeda decided it was time to quit. A wise choice considering Lopez's technical superiority. One of the standout qualities of Riddick Bowe was his killer instinct when he had an opponent hurt. Bowe wasn't just good at finishing, he was an absolute master at it. When he smelled blood, he'd unleash such a variety of punches that trying to survive against him was like trying to dodge raindrops in a downpour. It just wasn't happening.
It's done. Earl Lewis still very, very shaky, and they need to really attend to him.
Take Earl, for example. He was practically done after the devastating left hook, and then Bowe sealed the deal with a brutal right hand that left no room for a comeback. The final punch was the kind of shot that makes you grateful to be watching from the comfort of your couch.
I like Paul Williams' temperament, where in talking to him, he said, look, I throw a lot of punches. I'm going to get hit sometimes. It's something that he accepts.
How do you handle a 6'1" welterweight with an 82-inch reach who throws over 100 punches around?
And lanky don't want to accept those risks because they can fight comfortably from the outside. Paul Williams is temperament.
Oh, big right hand from Williams, stuns Mitchell, and down he goes in the third round.
Let me tell you, that all started with an uppercut. He hit him with an uppercut first, and then he ended it.
6, 7. So right hook, it looked, they put the finishing touches on it.
Okay, come on.
Williams was a guy who very few people wanted any part of when he was fighting at 147 pounds.
Here's another look at it. It's looked like he's seen him coming in, then he winded up with that uppercut. So he realizes that anytime Mitchell comes in, he's coming in low.
He was willing to fight anybody from 147 pounds to 160 pounds.
Oh, that's it.
Wins a three-punch combination, and Mitchell goes down for the second time in the fight.
6, 7, 8.
Williams had an insane reach advantage over all of his opponents, and he could punch when he really wanted to.
Williams has definitely found his range.
Big right hand that landed flush to the jaw. Takes Mitchell down, and Mitchell takes Williams down in the process.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Mitchell complaining as if to say that's not a knockdown.
Mitchell just has no answer for the long-range combination punching of Williams here.
Paul Williams is an energetic, young, 25-year-old fighter who says, I'll take on anybody from 147 up to 168. I'm not so sure about that, but I tell you what, he's exciting to watch, no doubt. Paul Williams knocks down Sean Bay Mitchell for the fourth time in the fight, and this might be it.
It is it.
It took Mayweather 6 rounds. It took Paul Williams 4.
Vic Draculix stops the fight at the end of the 4th round.
This is a situation where, you know, he adjusted. He realizes that Sean Bay had to come in low.
Second knockdown, Max.
This is with real power he's now throwing these punches.
Sadly, Williams got paralyzed from the waist down just a week before he was scheduled to take on Canelo Alvarez in a massive fight.
All right, baby. Yeah, I love you, man. Anytime, man. Yeah. Good job. Take the torch and run with it. Yes, sir. All right?
Smooth technician Orlando set up that body shot beautifully, and the sound of the punch was brutal.
Terrible crochet gauche au foie. Je peux vous dire que Ramos aura du mal, aura beaucoup de mal. Il souffre, il est arrêté, il est KO. Victoire d'Orlando. Canizales avait réussi une très belle démonstration jusque-là.
His placement of punches was outstanding.
Il avait travaillé depuis un moment. Il essayait de faire, voilà, c'est affreux. C'est affreux ce coup. Il est un petit peu haut encore. Mais...
And his variety and punching power equally impressive. In terms of technical prowess, Orlando is right up there, and this body shot is just a small example of the way he set up some of his punches perfectly. The great Lupe Pintor was also an exceptional body puncher. Pintor uses great footwork and feinting with his jab to set up this fight-ending body shot.
Pintor, of course, will...
Whoa! Is that a body shot? He's in bad shape. One-round knockout for Lupe Pintor, and it was a body shot. The crowd not too happy. They wanted more, but...
Well, he hit it with a body shot, Don. It was I don't even know, maybe it was a marginal body shot, but he went down from the blow of that punch, and down he went.
Well, Cleo Garcia evidently is in great pain. We have both doctors there, Dr. Bernard Schwartz and Dr. Michael DeLuca, working on him. He seems to be pointing to his stomach.
Pintor was just one of the guys I loved to watch. His savage body punching was a big part of why he was such a successful fighter.
Paralyzing type of punch. I'm not quite sure it was the left hook right to the pit of the stomach.
Here it is, Don, right there. The first of the punch right there. It was a body shot right below the liver, Don. He was grimacing as if he had no blow. But the punch is right under the liver, and it caught him right in the right spot. And Pintor, of course, hits very hard.
Look at that structure. Look at that leverage. But look at Martin come back flailing away. Good impressive. Good.
This series of left hooks by Pintor is just sensational.
Lupe Pintor is not my idea of a fun evening. Oh, my goodness.
Just measuring him now. That's it. I don't think he'll get up this time, and he really wasn't hit as hard this time as previously.
It's rare to see a fighter get destroyed with a series of hooks from the same hand. Pintor just has great balance and keeps whipping the punch into the head and body until the opponent just falls to the canvas. I think Pintor is one of those fighters who should get a lot more respect than he does. He was top-notch.
You won't see much more of a stylist than this guy Pintor. He gets